Welcome aboard the plane bound for New York City. We're approaching JFK Airport, the American airport with the highest number of international passengers. A very special tour awaits us, full of secrets waiting to be discovered. Take a look around. Not exactly quiet, is it? Almost 60 million passengers fly here every year. 450,000 inbound flights take off from over 90 countries every year. 37,000 workers at the JFK make sure everything runs smoothly. Workers like him. But what's that in his hands? It's got to do with a strange secret, but more on that later. First, let's take a look out of the window. Nothing but a regular runway, right? Wrong. The JFK Airport was a direct connection into space. In theory, at least. The airport was NASA's backup landing site until 2011, when the Space Shuttle program was suspended. But even then, on April the 27th, 2012, the Space Shuttle Enterprise rode piggyback on a plane. A media spectacle ensued. Hard to miss why, though. It was the shuttle's final flight. Now it rests in a New York museum. A runway literally out of this world. But even without rocket propulsion, moving back and forth quickly in the JFK isn't hard. The air train runs around the airport with plenty of work to do. The area of the airport is almost 20,000 square kilometers. That's the equivalent of almost 3,760 football fields. Simply enormous. But its size comes with good reason. 422,000 planes fly here every year, distributed among a total of 8 terminals. And then we reach our first secret. It's brand new and something very different from what you're expecting. Come on, it's time to take a closer look at the secret terminal. This is our stop. We meet Beth on the runway. She isn't alone. She's meeting someone. Bello, if you please. He's just landed and has a 2-hour layover in the most expensive and modern pet terminal in the world. They're treated like superstars here. But before Bello is allowed to enter the terminal, he has to be examined. A checkup, instead of checking in. The vet examines each animal before it's allowed to enter this exclusive terminal. This way, they prevent animals from infecting each other. After all, some of these travelers are often worth millions, while others may be serving their country.
These are military dogs. They go back and forth to Iraq and Afghanistan approximately every 3 to 6 months, and just like people, they need some R&R every once in a while, so they come home and they get rest and retraining.
Our 4-legged friends are in transit and waiting for their connecting flights. But vacation time has already begun for them here. They're looked after around the clock, a service that attracts big stars. Come along, here they come. Dressage and racehorse stallions, the who's who of the equestrian scene is connecting here. You're stroking just about $1 million. That's a polo horse, on its way back to the Sheikh in Dubai.
We get some really famous horses traveling through here. So for us, it's like our celebrities. So people, get excited for like Brad Pitt or somebody like that, and we get excited for these famous horses coming in here. So that's the exciting part for me, is seeing these big competition horses and being able to be a part of their travel.
In the Superstars terminal hidden at JFK Airport, you can travel in style. Before we move on to a bizarre secret, let's just have a look here first. Hangar 261. You may know it from the movies. Because this is where the greatest US cash robbery ever took place. In December 1978, armed mobsters hit the Lufthansa hangar. They stole cash and jewels from the vault, worth over $21 million in today's money. They could never prove the main suspect did it. The bounty was never recovered. really cinematic. That's exactly what director Martin Scorsese thought and made Goodfellas, a movie about this real-life heist. An Oscar-ready runway with a floral hint. So, what's the bizarre JFK secret? Before you find out, you can relax. This is exactly the right place to do so. In the past, it was the bustling terminal of the now defunct airline TWA. And what is this place now? It's finally quiet in here, in the middle of New York, in the middle of the airport. 150,000 passengers will be flying today right next door. And here, not even one. Why? This terminal was opened on May the 28th, 1962, accompanied by a marketing strategy of a kind never seen before. That's because the terminal was a real pioneer. It had surveillance cameras, electronic flight boards, and one of the first conveyor belts in the world. Back then, all this was incredibly modern. But nothing lasts forever. Jumbo jets conquered the sky and now everyone could travel. The terminal became too small to handle the traffic and was shut down in 2011. It remained empty for years after its closure. They've tried to tear it down several times, but it can't be done, ironically, because of its builder. The Finn, Eero Saarinen, started his career as a chair designer, and their unusual shape was cause for sensation in the 1950s. With his unique style, he soon got involved in architecture as well, even participating in Sydney's famous Opera House. Saarinen's fame is the reason why the terminal is still empty till this day. After his death, it was declared a landmark, and that's why the unusable terminal remains indestructible. But it's now being brought back to life. We're walking through the largest hotel lobby in the world. Renovations will soon be in full swing, and next year the hotel will be opened. And then you'll have a hard time believing your eyes. Another clue. Time to finally unravel the airport's big secret. Back in the main terminal, we'll finally find out what all these clues are about. Where is the biggest secret in JFK Airport? Look around. There. Do you see that? Look closely. Those gloves are another clue. And where is this airline employee going with them? A kind of place we haven't visited yet. You see this gate directly by the entrance of the terminal building. Where does it lead? Wow! A garden! In the middle of the airport, in the middle of New York. There is actual gardening going on between the terminals and the runways. Nowhere else in the world would you find this. So, why here of all places?
So most of us in New York City live in small apartments and we don't have our own gardens. So this is a great opportunity for me to be able to pick some kale, some rosemary, because otherwise I wouldn't be able to do that. And actually, guys, I gotta go. I gotta pick some.
Watson is in a rush. He has to go back to work in the airport. The technician spends his lunch breaks gardening, just like several other of his colleagues. Stewardesses and pilots meet at the airport to grow herbs. As a reward, they can take part of the harvest with them. But it's mainly meant to be compensation for their stressful jobs. This area will also soon be open to travelers. Until then, you can only look around. And take a look at the most exclusive potato chips in New York. Well, they aren't purple chips quite yet, but purple potatoes. And soon, they'll be made into airplane snacks. Today's airport harvest is processed and then distributed exclusively to passengers. Grown at the airport, picked by the pilot, and eaten on the plane. Amazing what secrets JFK Airport holds. You just have to dig a bit to uncover them.